Just a few moments ago, Goran Ivanisevic being treated by Bill Norris. That is the trainer right there at the changeover. On your left, Tom Barnes, the official referee of this tournament. You can see a big ace bandage right around the middle of his body there. Obviously, I think he had that on before they started here. He came out, and so obviously Ivanisevic having some problems with his back. That's got to be a real dicey situation, as they say over in Great Britain, because he needs all his strength, and especially in the way he serves, Vitas, to hit that. The back could be a huge problem for him here.
Well, Ivanisevic has played a very good first set, and nothing seems to be terribly visible.
No,
in his game that would lead you to believe that there is an injury, but obviously something is there.
Oh, and Lendl with a great return off of one of Goran's best serves all afternoon. He lunged for that return, used the pace of the serve. Bob Brett, Ivanisevic's coach, looking very concerned.
Goran puts that one away.
Moved pretty well to that overhead.
I was just going to say, with a bad back, that was a tough shot.
He's very temperamental. A little injury or a slight problem on the court might set him off, and that's been the book on him in the last couple of years.
Yeah, when he lost to Cahill last year, he came into the press room and said, "My head just went crazy." He says, "I was crazy." Nobody quite knew what that meant.
And he was asked if he understood the meaning of the English word tanking. And Goran said, "Yes, I do."
Very
That's
well.
what he did.
Sure he
Serving here to send this to a tiebreak at 30-all. Oh, and the ace. It's getting to be a little tough time. His shadows are kind of hitting the edge of the court. It looked like Lendl didn't see that ball very well.
Well, I'm sure he didn't, but I don't think the shadow had anything to do with it.
Fight, please.
Smart move by Lendl, forcing the play, chipping low, ball stayed down. Ivanisevic couldn't get underneath it and over the net. But if I was Goran with an injury right now, I certainly wouldn't want to make the points longer than they need to be.
It was going long.
He saw it good, but how come he saw it good? Yeah, it's easy to say he saw it good and...
No, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I saw it good and right in front of the line.
Yeah, you can be out like this and you see good and you call it good and... Yeah, but ball was out.
I saw it good and I saw it good as well. So you have to play.
How can you see the ball out? Good, it's impossible. When it's clear out, then it's out, you know that. It cannot be good, you know, if it's out.
We'll have another look.
Barry, I know, but all this extracurricular activity plays right into Lendl's hands. He loves to see somebody getting annoyed on the other side of the court. Just gives him that extra oomph to play even harder.
A warning of some sort has been given to Ivanisevic.
You didn't give him a warning for when he lost his serve, when he threw the ball.
I know what I'm doing. Go back and play.
Yeah, you're doing well.
This guy is volatile. He says you're doing well. He looked over at Ken Farrar.
Now you have a set point here for Lendl. All of this taking place before that serve.
Oh, man.
That was directed at the chair.
He really belted that one. Now watch him here as he lines up. The ball bounces just high enough to hit it on the full swing. And now take that, Bruno. You talk about some pumping. I think he outpumped Connors on that little pump.
Ivanisevic saved the set point. Now is a game point.
Lendl didn't move his feet at all on that one, Barry. Looked very tentative.
His fourth double fault. You think he spins the ball? He really hits it fairly. I know he spins it, but not quite as much as most guys do on the second serve.
He goes for his second serves.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's a Lendl forehand. We've seen so many times before. He lines it up. He was exchanging ground strokes with Ivanisevic, and then all of a sudden he turns the power up a notch, and the sheer pace beat Ivanisevic on the baseline.
Breaks Ivanisevic to win the first set. 7-5.
Not scoring, huh? Good, thank you. Bruce? You get the matchup page, then you get the highlights, then you get, okay, not the score first.
A matchup page is fine.
Okay?
20 back here.
Right.
Right? Okay.
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 Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Day 7 at the National Tennis Center. Ivan Lendl has won the first set from Goran Ivanisevic, 7-5. We'll be going back to that match shortly. I'm Bruce Beck, back in our USA studios. The Wimbledon champion Michael Stich is into the quarterfinals, but he has had a difficult time at the U.S. Open. In the third round, he survived a 5-set match against Malavia Washington, and today he barely escaped in 4 against Derek Rostagno, winning the match in 2 hours and 31 minutes. As the sun rose in the fourth round of the Open, Stich took the stadium court first. Rostagno played a sluggish first set, and Stich in the far court ran down everything to stroke winners. But Rostagno regained his form in the second. Take a look at this cross-court shot as Rostagno evened the match at 1 set apiece. Stich regained command of the match, winning the third set 6-1, and now in the fourth he shows great hustle to come up with a volley winner. The final set went to a tiebreak, and again the extra effort of Stich won out. He comes up with a nifty backhand passing shot. At match point, Rostagno's return is long, and Stich is into the quarterfinals 6-2, 3-6, 6-1, 7-6. Other scores from today: Javier Sanchez won in 3 sets over Gabriel Marcus. That's his best ever showing at a Grand Slam event. So here's a look at the bottom half of the men's draw right now. Ivan Lendl, Goran Ivanisevic on the court. The winner will take on Michael Stich, and Javier Sanchez will take on the winner of tonight's match between Michael Chang and Stefan Edberg. Meanwhile, on the women's side, Monica Seles took all of 48 minutes to get rid of Regina Reichertova 6-1, 6-1. So the Australian and French champion is into the quarterfinals. Gabriela Sabatini, meanwhile, took a lot longer, 1 hour and 56 minutes, but the defending champion advanced over Yana Novotná 6-4, 7-6. Jennifer Capriati in 53 minutes over in the grandstand court advanced over Joe Dury 6-1, 6-2. So Capriati stopped in the 4th round at the Open last year, takes it 1 step further. And Gigi Fernandez, straight set winner over Radka Zrubakova 6-2, 6-2. Gigi's best ever showing at the U.S. Open, so the 2-time U.S. Open doubles champion is on to the quarterfinals. Here's a look at the women's draw, this portion of it, and we are all set. It will be Capriati number 7 against Sabatini number 3, and Fernandez, who is unseeded, against number 2, Monica Seles. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and we'll talk with Gigi Fernandez live in just a moment as Day 7 rolls on. I don't know. What you what? You clap, Gigi?
Yes, sir. Can I have the highlights and everything back?
Grudgingly, yes. How we do?
Yeah.
Stand by.
Very deep today with no pipes.
Bumper.
Okay.
Lendl score.
Uh-oh.
Nine. Very good.
Where is Lynn? Is this? Is the match over?
What's happening?
Stand by in here, please.
Ethan, Lendl won the first game of the second set. On serve? Yeah.
8, 4, 3.
Late afternoon in New York City on this, the first day of September. And Ivan Lendl has captured the first set over Goran Ivanisevic, 7-5. He took the first game of the second set. They are on serve. We'll be going back shortly to Ted Robinson, Barry McKay, and Vitas Gerulaitis. But first, let's check in with Diana Nyad, who has Gigi Fernandez with her.
Thanks very much, Bruce. Congratulations on your match today, Gigi.
Thank you.
Now, everybody, the obvious question is that you are a world-class doubles player. You've won twice here right at the Open. Never in 9 years broken past the second round in singles. Why are you having such a hot Open as a singles player?
I've never gone past the second round. I guess I wasn't thinking about that. I guess, like you said, I've been mainly a doubles player. I mean, I've had much better results as a doubles player, and I've never actually played well at the Grand Slams. I've only made, this is my first quarter ever out of any Grand Slam, so looking forward to it.
But today, you played Zubikova. What'd you say? You had about 25 winners, outright winners in the forehand. I mean, you were just in a relaxed groove. What's happening?
I played really well. I've been playing really well this summer. I've had a lot of good wins over good players, and it's given me a lot of confidence. I won a tournament in Albuquerque, and that really helped my confidence as a singles player. And you know, I'm playing my game, which is aggressive, and I feel like I've gotten better with each match.
Pushing into the net?
Yeah, I'd like to come in as much as I can, and sometimes I get a little tentative and stay back. But this, you know, particularly today, I came in on every opportunity I had, and I played almost, for me, I played the perfect match today.
Must feel good.
Yeah.
Now, we all know that you had some fine wins over a few years with Jano Novotná, and it hasn't been an easy split, and any winning team that splits up is not easy emotionally. Has that been a source of motivation for you? Like, you know, I'll show her?
No, you know, when you get out on the court, that's the last thing you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Unless except you're playing them, and I try just to concentrate on winning the next point and not worry about all the other stuff that goes on around the circuit.
Sellis is up next. Obviously tough. How are you going to beat her?
Well, I think what I have to keep telling myself is that Linda Ferrando beat her last year, and I think that if Linda Ferrando can beat her, there's some chance that I can do it too. I play sort of the same kind of game, or I can play the same kind of game that Ferrando plays, which is come in. So you know, what I'm going to do is just play my game, which is get in as much as I can and try and take the net away and hit my serve and hit the volleys.
Be aggressive. And I'm just wondering, did you have anybody scout her match today, see if she's vulnerable in any area?
Well, 1-1 is not going to be much, you know, vulnerability there. But I've seen her play a lot of times. I watched her whole match with Jennifer in San Diego when she played the final, so I know her game. I've seen her play a lot, so I don't, you know, we were playing at the same time, so my coach didn't get a chance to scout.
All right,
but
Gigi.
that's okay.
You know what she plays like.
Yeah.
Gigi Fernandez, doubles player extraordinaire, is now into the quarterfinals and singles. Thanks for stopping by. Bruce Beck, back to you.
Thank you, Diana. So Sellis, Sabatini, Capriati, and Fernandez have all advanced to the quarterfinals. We'll take a short break. Lendl now up a break in the second. We'll check in on Yvonne in a moment.
At least he's on.
Back on stadium court, Ivan Lendl serving to Goran Ivanisevic, 30 all. And Lendl puts that away. He is up a break here early in the second set after winning the first set 7-5. And it's a tough time of day for the players. You know, baseball players, for instance, say that this time of day is the absolute worst time to play. And you can see where the shadows are on the tennis court.
You know, the shadows on the stadium court different from that distinct line that comes down the grandstand court. This is a huge high stadium, and what you're really seeing there is the sun getting behind the light poles and the scoreboards, and so it's a lot more jagged, a little more difficult than that distinct line that we've had in the grandstand.
Way out. So Lendl has taken over control of the match, winning the first set, and he is up a break in the second.
Yeah, I know.
This is the U.S. Open, but of course it is an international event. In our continuing effort to be both politically correct and globally aware, we should amend the country designation for Ivanisevic in this time of turmoil in his homeland, and technically Ivanisevic would now be a Croatian.
Well, he made it real clear in our studio a couple of days ago. He said, I go away from Yugoslavia. I'm a Croatian. He was real firm about that.
Did you get all that, Vitas? You Lithuanian.
Committed to memory. That's right. It's a great time in history right now.
Yeah. I'm sure your father would love to be here to see that right now.
He really would be. Yeah. This is a dangerous time, Barry, for Lendl. He doesn't want to get too fancy, but at the same time, he doesn't want to get too defensive. I'm sure he feels that he's got Ivanisevic on the ropes. He's going through one of his hazy periods where he's starting to make a lot of mistakes.
Well, the back doesn't seem to be bothering Ivanisevic right now. Everybody was concerned there. He really looked like he was in pain in that first set.
30.
Those kind of shots must drive Bob Brett crazy. I mean, that's such a low percentage shot. And the match basically has just begun, really. He's a set down. He's right in the match.
Just why is it tough to return a left-hander's serve, you think?
Well, number one, I think you don't get to play. In our time, you didn't get to play that many lefties. Now there are quite a few more lefties in the game. It just seems that they always have a much better swing serve out wide where they pull you out past the doubles alley. The best forehand, the best righty swing serve was Arthur Ashe's. He was as good as any lefty, except being righty, pulled down the opposite direction.
Ivanisevic on the board in the second set.
Yeah.
There's a Sunday shopping going on outside Stadium Court.
Well, they're mobbed out there doing a landslide business.
Everybody's looking for the discount rack. You know.
They ain't going to find it.
That doesn't happen until after the finals next week. It's packed. We just saw Lendl go over and change rackets after that last game. They are changing here at 7 and 9, 16 total games, and we've played 16 games. And so this is a freshly strung racket. It may not be a new racket, but Warren Bosworth, who's worked with Ivan so closely with his equipment, and so Lendl now has a racket with the same tension on it.
Lendl has taken command in this set, and there's a big part of it.
You know, we talked about his equipment again, Venus, but obviously you play 9 games of tennis with a racket, and he is so intense on that he thinks it's going to change the the tension just slightly over 9 games. That's quite amazing.
He's very finicky about his equipment. Everything's weighed, balanced, string tension identical.
Yeah. Here are the strings of that racket. Ivan gets, they're all wrapped up in hermetically sealed plastic bags. I mean, you don't mess around. We were happy to have an old canvas cover that the zipper worked on a few years ago. That's more than a few years ago.
With the wooden press.
That's right. With the screws on 4 sides. Keep that thing from warping.
One thing about Lendl, he comes prepared to a match. May not always be playing his best tennis, but physically and mentally, he brings it all to the court.
Oh, yeah. Third ace for Lendl.
Lendl up a break still in the second set.
I mean, that's all I could do. So, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. The grips. Yeah.
Coming up 2-9.
Yeah, yeah.
How you doing, Brian?
I know, exactly. And then you pick a new one up. Yeah, it was
Jets won, Brian.
That's.
Yeah, I know. You can tell I made your day. Twins are up 7-0 in the fifth.
Yeah.
That's all I care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight on Stadium Court, Stefan Edberg and Michael Chang in the round of 16. You'll see it live 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on USA's coverage of the U.S. Open.
A repeat of the French Open Championships of 1989.
Perhaps we should announce in French tonight then to add the proper flavor.
Go right ahead, Ted.
Ivanisevic down a break, second set. Lendl won the first 7-5.
Lendl thought he heard a net.
That was a firm backhand return. This is the best I've seen Lendl hit the ball in quite a while, Barry.
Yeah, he's hitting real solidly. Reminiscent of that weekend matchup there against Edberg at the Hamlet. He can't hit a much better than that.
Lendl not happy with the calls, but the ace for Ivanisevic gives him the game. And Lendl is now up 4-2 in the second.
And the 7th game coming up.
Ivanisevic appears to be trying to play the points a little faster in the second set.
Well, I think most good servers, if you play a love game, don't have to extend too much energy. You really feel like you're ready for that next receiving game a little bit better than if you had to struggle on your own serve.
Lendl-Ivanisevic camps on the baseline and wins the point.
I thought that lob might be going wide for a minute. I think Ivan thought so too. He was surprised to see it drop in. Now Lendl checking the toss for the sun. It is definitely a factor now. Even though most of the court is in shade, as you look up, you're looking up into the sun.
Well, he's looking up into the blimp again.
The Fuji blimp.
This could be a whole new phrase to add to the sports world. Looking up into the blimp.
A wide open court there. Lendl had already committed himself, and Goran knows that he needed about 1/2 inch on that backhand. He would have had it. Look at it one more time here, because he definitely had this lined up. Short ball. He comes in. Look at Lendl covering up the line, leaves the entire court open. The ball hits and bounces back.
Ivanisevic getting below the ball, but couldn't lift it up high enough. You saw the whole open court.
Right on the line.
And had he made that shot, the score would now be love 40.
He's going to get down really well to this backhand, gets the racket back early. Instead of hitting it with two hands, he one-handed it and just took the pace off the serve and punched it up the line.
Ooh. Oh, it's a great return.
This is where Ivan has to be careful. He's looked very defensive for the last two shots.
Ivanisevic a chance to get back even in the set.
Longest rally of the match, no question about it.
And they weren't pushing the ball around. They were slugging it.
sorry? Okay. What does that mean?
Second shot.
I say you saw it out, you say no, I did not.
I just saw. So I'm just telling you that I didn't see the ball out.
I can't believe this because he's got a second serve coming up.
Ivan, I said to you at the beginning of the match, I'm telling you the truth. I saw the ball good, but I don't have to overrule the machine.
Then turn it off.
Okay.
Because I saw it weighing.
This is a break point and second serve. Can you believe it? Lendl takes all that time.
Ivanisevic has not played the big points well yet. Gets one, and we are back on serve in the second set.
Can we turn it off then? Let's pick point first or second serve. Go, if you're not turning it off, go can.
So maybe you and I, we are wrong.
Turn it off or call him, I would like to talk to him about it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, great. Where is Jack? In the tunnel? Oh, she's up there with him? Great. All right. Tell Jack I said hello.
Hey, Tommy, come in
All
here.
right.
Yeah, come in here.
Hey, Linda, can you hear me?
Sure I can.
Oh, great. Well, I know you got a ton of good questions to ask.
No, throw one at me if you like.
Jack won this thing in 46 or 7. I can't remember exactly when. He beat Tom Brown this tournament, the U.S. Open.
Okay.
I don't know. Just a thought maybe how it's changed, you know, since he played Brown.
I can't hear you so well now. It's getting a bit muffled.
Okay.
That's great.
Keep working on that. We'll tell you later.
During the changeover, Yvonne Lendl had tournament referee Tom Barnes come to the court, and Lendl has asked to have Cyclops turned off, but that won't happen unless the tournament referee feels the machine is malfunctioning, and I don't believe that's going to be the case. We'll wait and see. And while this game begins, let's go in the stands now to Linda Pence. Linda?
Thank you, Ted. Well, I'm here with Jack Kramer, a great champion who won this tournament. Jack, you've seen a lot of fantastic tennis players across the net from you and also from our view today in the stands. What do you think of these two today?
Well, I think they played a marvelous match, and I'll get his name. Goran has come back and finally broken a serve, and what he's been trying to do, Linda, is to try to force Lendl to hit a lot of high balls, particularly down the line, and the spin seems to be pulling him wide. And if he keeps his patience, I still think he's got a great chance.
Goran, of course, is a bit of a hothead, as we've seen before. Do you think that that's a detriment to him, and that if he controls himself more, he could become a great top 10 player?
Well, the reason he's not in the top 5 is that he beats himself. He's got all the ability, and in fact, I think he should be a world beater. And it's always impatience, and he gets upset. He's a little like Eli Nastase with all that ability and never really gets it there in the big league tennis. But look at that service ace he just drilled by him, 124. He's got the ability, and I think he's back level, and I still like him to win the match. I did at the beginning.
We've seen a lot of the power game, of course, in recent years. It's really almost all serves sometimes with these big guys out here. What do you think about that direction in the game today?
Well, they blame it on the rackets. I don't think the game's that bad. As a matter of fact, these fellas are playing a little bit like two fellas we used to remember. My friend Deborah Hobbs brought it up. Sullivan and Dibbs. They're playing backcourt, and it's very enjoyable. But there's a couple of boomers, and that's what the fans like, the big serves.
Well, that's a very interesting comparison, Sullivan and Dibbs out here. How about Ivan Lendl? He seems to have had a little bit of a tough time in recent months. He's taken some surprising losses. Do you think that his time may have passed?
Well, I'll tell you, coming back from Krajicek like that, those 2 match points, and really doing it beautifully with big shots, he should feel good about himself. He finished up that Hamlet affair in very good style. And if he gets by this match, well, you got to like him as well as anybody. But if you go for the real winner of the tournament, I sort of believe in Pete Sampras. At least that's what I'm predicting and hoping.
Let's take a look back now to some of the players of your era. Is there any way to make a comparison between their games and the two players out here today, or even your own game?
Well, not really, because neither one of those people played the grass court game, although on the grass, Goran did come in an awful lot, and the big serve helps him. But it seemed to me that Sedgman and Hode and Gonzalez and Vine, Budge didn't come in on the serve, but we all did that, quite frankly, Linda, because grass was the king of the sports in those days, and it was the only way to play. Don't let the ball bounce. Now, these fellas actually hit the ball more consistently and play awfully good defense. They're hitting bullets out there and keeping them in. And there's many more players that seemingly can do that. If all the boys I've been mentioning were back playing, I think they still might win tournaments, but they sure find that they would lose a lot more in the early rounds because there's so many people that can beat you any day.
Do you think that Lendl perhaps should apply more of a net game to his game? He's such a big, strong guy, and he has a big first serve also.
Well, that's how I think he won that set when it got very, very close in the tiebreaker. He came in on several occasions. He had a couple of good breaks when Goran served doubles, but Lendl, unfortunately, doesn't feel like he has to go to the net to win, and it's only when he's desperate. But he has good approach shots, and if he waits till he gets a short one, cozies it in there very deep like McKay used to off the backhand, why, he's a good volleyer. He's just not a good volleyer when he comes in on his serve.
Okay, well, Jack, thanks very much. Now let's go back to Barry McKay along with Ted and Vitas in the stadium booth.
And Linda, thank you. It's 40-15 for Lendl. It's nice of Jack to acknowledge that you taught him the game. He was a young boy.
He was kidding, of course. Now, you mentioned some awfully good names in that little talk. I think Jack still feels that a lot of those guys, Budge, Vines, some of the great players, could play on this surface with this equipment. There's no question that they'd be tough. They were great athletes.
Third double by Lendl, and it's 40-30.
Well, Kramer had one of the best forehand approach shots ever. He sort of swept through the ball, hit it out wide, deep to the backhand, and didn't have to hit too many great volleys because that forehand approach was such a strong shot.
Lendl holds and stay on serve in the second set. Where we're just dumping him, just flat out dumping him. No, singular, sorry, fan. He needs a nickname. How about Go-Go or something?
Gotta go.
You never saw Jack play, I bet, huh?
No, but I heard he was solid as a rock.
He was
big serve too.
Yeah.
Did he have a big heavy serve?
Yeah.
Heavy serve.
Good slice. That slice out wide, and he was.
You got the preamps right up top here,
Great
Brian?
competitor.
All right. For that one person in New Mexico. Okay. Boy, 60 Minutes is going to get hurt in the ratings if this match goes 5, huh? The charisma just jumps right out at you.
We might end up. Whoops.
Really an electric guy.
Lendl's.
That is Yuri and Olga Lendl, the parents of Ivan. Olga was once one of the leading female tennis players in Czechoslovakia.
Wasn't there a story that when she used to go play tennis, she would put Ivan on a long sort of tether, make sure he wouldn't go too far from the courts, sort of tie it around the net pole, and make sure he was close by. 13 aces now for Goran Ivanisevic.
And almost all of them have been in the 115 to 120 mile an hour range. Now, for those of you who have tuned in to see either Murder, She Wrote or MacGyver on USA, those programs will not be seen tonight, so that we can bring you continuing coverage of the 91 U.S. Open on Stadium Court. This is a fourth round men's singles match. Goran-Ivanisevic, nearly 20 years of age, Croatian. And the number 16 player in the world, Ivan Lendl, the number 3 ranked player in the world.
Barry, have you noticed that Goran has a funny superstition when it comes to serving? He likes to get that ball that he wins the previous point with and serve the second point with it.
Yeah. In the last service game, Ivanisevic